Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Soul and Screen. In this particular video, I will be doing a review on Tyler Perry's Zatima, Season 4, Episode number 10. This is the mid-season finale episode, so let's get into it. So to pick up basically where we left off last episode and kind of coming into this episode is the Fatima picking up the food and finding out that Leslie has been basically stalking her for real, coming into her house. Deja kind of lets her know that she's been watching Leslie come in and out of their house basically, and try and actually had the opportunity to catch her this last time. So we pick up Fatima and Zac the next morning, are getting dressed in the bathroom, just brushing their teeth and everything, and Fatima not necessarily in a good mood, but once again, as I said before, Zac needs to pay attention to the time of her mood swings, because every morning since this season started, she's been like letting Zac have it. Like, the mornings is not the time to play and mess with Mama Bear. Fatima, she is not playing. Like, her attitude, her mood is just on fire in the morning. So Zac, I would suggest that if at all possible, steer clear in the morning, like, just because she just got an attitude in the morning. So anyway, she's brushing her teeth and he's like noticing like she a little off, and he kind of calls her on it, like, what's the matter? And she's like, nothing, I just didn't sleep good. And he's like, yeah, but like, what's up with that? Because this pregnancy been having you like sleep like super hard and heavy, and you ain't had no problem sleeping before, but now all of a sudden last night you didn't sleep well, so what's up? And basically she's like, nothing, I just didn't sleep well. So he's like, all right, I'll just, back off and leave you alone, because she was getting ready to bite his head off again. Like she said, just kind of let me be, basically. Like, I'll let you know when I need some help, because he keeps like, I'm just checking on you. And she's like, I got this, but you kind of getting on my nerves. And he's like, well, I'm supposed to know, if you're okay if I don't check on you. And so she, gets on him again, like, just wait until I tell you I need some help, basically. And then she tells him, like, can you get out, because I got to use the bathroom, that kind of thing again. So anyway, they pick up that, fast forward a little bit into the morning. After they get dressed, they are both leaving the house to go to work. And they run into Deja, and Deja coming home from work and apparently drinking some Hennessy in a coffee cup, and might be like a little wasted already, because she start trying to almost spill the beans on what happened last night, and not very subtly, because Zac is like noticing, and he's like, so what y'all got? Y'all got like a secret that y'all keeping from me? Like, what's up? So, and she's saying certain words, and she using the word, like, words that she most likely wouldn't know. And so Zac is catching him. He like, oh, so you've been talking to Fatima? And he's like, well, you know what? And so Fatima's trying to rush him on, like, babe, just go to work. And then, she finally tells Deja, like, chill, like, you about to get us caught up. I told you I didn't want him to know yet. And so, anyway, that's pretty much the end of that. When you fast forward a little bit more, when Fatima gets to work, Angela's coming in, and, she's checking in on her. And she's like, how you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm good. And she ends up telling her what happened with Deja showing up at her house and stuff like that. And, how Leslie got caught by Deja, and how Deja has clocked her, basically. And so Angela like, well, dang, Fatima, what you gonna do? Like, you need to say something to Zac. And she's like, I know, I just need to figure some things out first, and I don't really want to get Zac into no trouble again, like, and so she's like, okay. And then Fatima notices Angela kind of gets a little like dizzy and everything. She's like, is you about to faint? Like, is you all right? And she's like, yeah, I'm good. I probably just didn't eat. Like, Angela trying to blow it off and act like she not take, like it wasn't the medication which she's taking. And she's taking it incorrectly. And that's why she's having some of these symptoms and stuff like that. And so, anyway, after she does that, it goes to the office of Zac, Bryce, and Preston. And Preston and Zac are talking, and then, about a meeting apparently that Zac missed. And he's just like, man, you got to do, we missed you. Like, what happened? And, he started trying to explain to him what happened. And then Bryce comes in with an attitude and try to go in on Zac, basically like, you letting us down, and I never thought you would miss a major meeting like this or anything like that. And, just really kind of like, it's a reason why I don't have a family. It's the reason. And Zac let him have it. Zac literally told him, yeah, the reason you don't got no family because don't nobody want you. Like, you basically soft. The only person who really wants you is Angela, and she might not halfway want you. She just using you. And I'm actually glad that Zac came at him like that, because Bryce, first of all the stuff that you've been causing, like, you just stole money from me. And if Preston, who happens to be Zac's friend, didn't come in and save save the company, this would be your end. So I know you ain't tripping off of me for missing a meeting because of my pregnant fiance. Like, whoever, whatever business meeting you got going on, I'm not saying that they not important, but I am saying is that you can't expect nobody to put they pregnant fiance and their child's safety ahead of a meeting that happens. Most people can understand that he has a pregnant wife, and, she's in a critical part of her pregnancy. Like, you can understand that. You just got to explain that. Not going to say that that's going to automatically, fly every time, but definitely there's grace given in from a corporate perspective. So about Bryce trying to come in all with an attitude and stuff, you don't got like no times to come at me when you stole some money from me, and you still in a doghouse as far as I'm concerned, because I feel like Zac let that go way too soon. And I understand to an extent you got to let it go first so that we can move on in business, but you don't get to try to come and check me and talk about my time and things like that, because you ain't got no life, you ain't got no woman, you ain't got no family that's building. That's your decision that you made. So you ain't got to tell me like you get asked every day. Great. I personally believe that, people need to extend grace to people when they come into new seasons and stuff in their lives, or offer any type of suggestions to help. So instead of you coming in trying to criticize and go off on me because I missed a meeting like I'm a kid, first of all, you don't come with no attitude talking to me. I'm grown. And you can say that, you missed the meeting, and you can say that kind of stuff, but you don't get to come at me talk about you disappointed, and you don't seem like you don't look like that you fully invested or anything. Shall I count back? Like, again, like this wasn't too long ago. So let me ask you, don't be coming at me like that. This is like the second time. To me, Bryce oversteps. Like, I think everybody is a little too forgiving of Bryce. I don't care. Like, just because you from a different culture and stuff don't mean that you dumb as a box of rocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Bryce stepped out of line by stealing Zac's money, by going ahead with that when Zac had already told him that his money was connected to him. So in all honesty, while I'm willing to forgive some stuff, you don't get to come at me sideways because I'm still learning and navigating how to balance a business that grew exponentially over the past few months in my family life. Like, it's going to take some time, but you trying to make somebody choose your business, talking about we building generational wealth. You just got done saying that you chose not to have a family. So you ain't building nothing for your generations if you ain't having one. So in order for you to have a generation, you got to have some family and some lineage. And you just told Zac that you ain't really even trying to build a family. So in any event, I don't like how he came at Zac like that. And so I was glad that Zac checked him but at the same time took accountability. Like, I got you. I'm gonna work on being better, but about balancing out, which he said it later on in the episode that he just got to do better. So, but again, I don't like the way that Bryce was coming at Zac like he was a kid. Like, this is like Bryce has a tendency to talk down to Zac. Like even when they were at the dinner, he was saying something about like he just was skating over the racism issue that they were talking about, and was like, don't, instead of doing this racism cry, like, did you just say that to me? Like, you need to back and go read some books for you to be talking about somebody who you prefer black women and stuff like that. You should be saying some janky stuff that if you had black friends and black women, that you should probably know a little bit better about how you talking to a grown man like he's a kid, and then trying to make decisions. Like for him, the way that he went and stole his money, like he don't get to do that. Like we 50-50 partners. He don't get to veto anything. Well, you made the decision to go forward with it without his decision. So now you saying that what you say is over what he says, and that's what I'm saying. So it's like a double standard, right? Like you don't get to say why because you racist. But Bryce, Bryce has some racist tendencies still lingering in there that he needs to check and watch. And I hope Zac and Fatima continue to call him out on it like they have been so far. So in any event, moving forward, after they get that kind of situation situated, they're getting ready to go into Preston's office and have a conversation. But Zac gets a phone call, and it's Fatima basically calling him, and she's like, Zac, I'm on my way to the hospital. I have a spot. And then he's like, oh, so he panicked, right? He's like, okay, I'm on my way. And so Angela gets her to the hospital, and Zac is like, look, y'all, I gotta go. Fatima on her way to the hospital. And so he gets to the hospital, and the doctor takes him into her, and he sees her. When he gets there, she's already like gowned on and on the table getting ready to have an ultrasound. And the doctor is getting ready is hooking up the machine. And while the doctor's doing that, he's like, Fatima, what happened? And she was just like, I was just spotting, babe. And he was like, Fatima, what happened? And she's like, it could be from anything. It could be stress. It could be hormones. Like some people do this. And he was like, you're not just going to sit here and tell me that, this just, you start spotting for nothing. So what's going on? Like, and so he know his woman. Like he believed that you holding something back, and he was right. So anyway, right when she was getting ready to say something, the doctor comes over, and she put the jelly on her belly and stuff like that. And let me just say that it's been kind of going around too, the comparison between Fatima's belly and then Karen's. They did an excellent job with framing the Fatima baby bump on Crystal's body, because like they got her tattoos down. They got it looked like a real baby bump versus what they did for the Karen baby bump. It just I don't know what was going on. It truly looked like a milk dud. Like they had so many memes going around and in comparisons, and where they had Karen's stomach looking like a milk dud, and just the chocolate candies. I was cracking up. But anyway, they did a good job doing Fatima's baby bump. Anyway, in the process, Angela's in, and she's like, wow, so I'm assuming this is the first time Angela, because typically your best friend don't go to your doctor's appointments, but Zac did mention, like, every time I see this, like, I'm more amazed. So and we also find out in this particular scene that they chose not to know what the baby's sex is this early, because like I think I said in a previous episode, they probably either made the decision not to, because you typically find out you can typically find out the sex unless it's some, the baby just ain't positioned right or anything like that. I believe somewhere between that 3rd and 4th month, and she definitely looked like she about 6 months in to me. I would definitely say that she's closer to 6 and maybe even 7 months pregnant, especially since they already doing the maternity shoot, talking about the baby shower. You typically do the baby shower right about 7-8 months and stuff like that, just to give yourself time to, get everything in order before the baby gets here. So with that being said, we find out that they chose not to know the sex of the baby. Because I absolutely was still thinking that the baby was going to be a girl. And I still do, because Fatima had that pink dress on during the photo shoot. And I was just kind of like, if you wasn't knowing what it is, maybe you would go with more neutral colors. Or if you knew it was a boy, you would do boy. So, but anyway, so we'll see what they decide to do. But it looks like Fatima's pink dress was not an indication for sure that she's having a girl, since they made the decision as a couple not to find out until the baby's born. But it was cool for Angela to be in there and experience it, especially since she's most likely going to be the godmom and things like that. So for her to be able to hear the heartbeat and all that kind of stuff. And so anyway, the doctor tells them, let me get this information over to your doctor so they can look. And when she leaves, Zac has a very candid conversation with her, and he's like, Fatima, she's like, I know, babe, I'll sit down. And Angela and Zac both kind of look at her like, seriously? And she's like, yeah, like, no, I know, I need to take it easy. And then Angela kind of blurts out that you really need to get Leslie in order before you sit down. And Zac turns and he's like, what's going on? What you mean? And, so basically Zac finds out that Leslie has been stalking Fatima, coming to the house, coming to the job, and all that kind of stuff. And he goes off, right? Like, what the F? And, and he's like, what are y'all doing? And basically Angela is like, Fatima was kind of like, babe, don't yell at Angela. And he's like, I'm kind of like done with both of y'all. Like, what is y'all problem? Because why don't I know about this? Like, Fatima, for real? And so he gets mad, and he kind of goes in on Fatima. Like, he's like, you putting our baby's life in danger, but with this. And she's like, I know, but I was just trying to figure out what to do. He was like, what you mean what to do? She was like, well, if I need to get a restraining order, and he was like, what's a restraining order gonna do? Like, the chick is cuckoo. And so, he finally tells Fatima, you know what? I tell you what, I'm getting you a bodyguard. And she's like, Zac. And he's like, no, and I love the way he manages his emotions and from his anger management class. And he literally tells her, like, I'm not about to argue with you. I'm not about to fight nobody. I'm not even going to go after nobody. But what I'm not doing is negotiating on the fact that you getting a bodyguard, because this girl, she doing too much, and it's putting our baby's life in danger. And so, she's like, she didn't really argue with him, but you could tell she got a little bit of an attitude because her arms is all crossed and stuff like that. And so the doctor comes in and basically just reiterates that, Fatima, you can go about your regular day, but you do need to slow down, and you need to start going to the doctor once a week now. And so Zac is kind of like, so he was wanting the doctor to tell her to put her on bed rest, but the doctor was like, we not there yet. And so he's like, I guess if that's what's going to go down. But, he was really wanting the doctor to say that. And the doctor was like, I know you guys are all, scared and everything, but there's no reason that Fatima can't go about her normal activity, her daily activities, as long as she, just manages her stress. This is about stress. This is not necessarily about activity. This is about stress. And so, so anyway, the doctor makes that clear, and then he leaves, and Angela kind of like, again, you don't think everybody taking it serious. He's like, I don't think none of y'all taking it serious, but I got it, basically. And, that was pretty much it for that. Kind of fast forward into a little bit more where earlier we had saw Jeremiah kind of getting out the hospital and run into somebody, the neighborhood dealer, just to get some drugs, and found a corner. And again, having like visions of Miss Gladys and stuff, and basically telling her that he want to be with her. And she's like, no, you don't. Don't come back here no more. Like, Zac love you. And like, basically to sound like to get yourself together. And so that was pretty much it for the Jeremiah scenes. You want to kind of pick up where Zac, Fatima, and Angela, they are leaving the doctor's office at this point. And they're in the parking lot, and he's pushing her in a wheelchair. And, they're like, he's thanking Angela, thank you. She's like, do you need anything? He's like, no, I got her. I'm going to take her home and get her situated. And she's like, okay, but let me know if you need anything. And so he's, telling Angela, thank you. And helping, as he's helping Fatima get in the car, he gets a phone call from Bryce, and Bryce is kind of checking in and apologizing at the same time, like, just kind of telling him he understand that he got a little in his emotions about situations and his tone and everything. So he did apologize to that. And so Zac told him, no, real talk, like, I hear where you're coming from, and I, appreciate it, but I do need to get better. Like, so he told Bryce pretty much what he told Fatima, like, what Fatima told him, like, learn how to keep your promises and what you're saying and make time. And so he's just he acknowledges to Bryce he needs to figure out and organize his day and his schedule a little bit better on both sides, at work and at home, so that he can do both things. Now, once again, that's something that Zac and Fatima are learning how to do. Like, they are learning how to alter their schedules, right? Like, Fatima, like, a lot of people are like, Fatima doing too much at work and everything like that. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of women, I ain't gonna say most, a lot of women who are working corporate America, who enjoy their career, not to say that they don't, it's not that they don't care about their baby. It's just that they are trying to learn how to juggle another hat that just got thrown in, because it's like, you don't want to relinquish your job. You don't want to do anything like that. You just need to learn how to add another hat or role into it. And that takes time. And so, it doesn't mean that, it provides an excuse for, people messing up or anything like that. But I do feel like a level of grace needs to be extended to both Zac and Fatima as they learn how to navigate and adjust their schedules. Now that it's inclusive of this pregnancy happens to different people in different ways. Like, there was no way for Fatima to know that she would be this exhausted, or that or even that crazy Leslie was going to come in and do, you know what I'm saying? Like, give people a chance to see if they can figure it out, versus, like, I feel like people in the audience or the fan groups and stuff are just always like coming at people instead of giving them some grace to figure it out. This is new for both of them. So anyway, with that being said, as they go, I think he's putting her in a car basically, and she's telling him, thank you, babe. And he's like, I love you and all that kind of stuff. And they have a nice little moment, and then it quickly shifts because he's like, let me get you home. And she's like, no, wait, can you take me to the job? Because I need to, tell my boss that I'm about to be working from home and pick up my laptop. And Zac tells her, like, Fatima, like, no, basically, but let me put a pin here. So she said she got to tell her boss. She didn't say I got to talk to Andy. So I'm wondering, do she shift, like, in that 6 months? Remember, Courtney said that Zatima is 6 months ahead of Sisters. So remember, currently in season 9 of Sisters, Fatima and Andy is kind of like, is going through a rocky patch in their relationship and work relationship. So I wonder, is that a clue and an indication that Fatima ain't gonna be working for Andy no more? And because she said her boss, she didn't say Andy. Zac knows Andy, so it's kind of like if she would have said, like, I gotta call, or at least go in and talk to Andy and let Andy know that I gotta work from home. Or she didn't say that, she said her boss. So anyway, with her saying that, Zac was like, is you kidding? So he said something to her, which is true, but at the same time, that's kind of like the second time you said that, Zac. Like, basically he tells Fatima, like, you putting our baby life in danger, and he kind of made it seem like she don't care. And so she was like, did you just say that to me? You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, yeah, that's how I feel. And so she finally was like, you know what? I tell you what, you just take me to the job and I'll drive myself home, because she don't want to get into it with him. You know what I'm saying? And so again, to kind of go as far and to tell a woman who's carrying a baby, even though, again, they are trying to figure out their level of stress, how much they can take and things like that, that's not something that is automatic for everybody. I'm not saying, again, that it's okay for her to do it, but what I am saying is that she's learning how, kind of her tolerance level. She's learning how much can I do and still maintain my position, do my work and things like that. And so to insinuate or kind of make a statement that I don't care about the child that I'm carrying, my baby, like, this ain't, again, I understand it's your baby as being the fiance, the husband, but this woman is carrying this baby in her body. She's feeling every kick. It's been obvious that she wanted this baby. So to say anything like that too much is an overstep. Like, I understand saying certain points just to get a point across, like, you putting our baby in danger, but to kind of insinuate that, she ain't it's like she don't care and she's like purposefully doing it, like that's like, you don't say that to a pregnant woman. And that's just my opinion. We can talk about it in the comments and see what other people think. But I do think people need to give people a minute to figure out how I can do this in my body. Like, I still need to work. I still need to do this. I'm learning how to do this. And then it's every step, right? Third month of pregnancy is not going to be the same effects as 6 months into pregnancy or 8 and 9. You know what I mean? Like, your body is adjusting each time. So what worked in month 3 don't work in month 6, and what worked in month 6 don't work in month 8 or 9. Like, they give her a chance to figure it out. At the same time, remind her, you doing too much. You're putting the babies in danger. You are putting the baby in danger and life. But don't insinuate to a woman that she don't care about the child that she's carrying and getting ready to push, because she's feeling everything. She feels the baby moving, the heartbeat. I mean the kicks and all that's going on. So, and her emotions is high. I feel like that's kind of starting an argument, and that's just my opinion about it. But anyway, pretty much after that, it goes into, the social worker coming up to Connie and basically telling her that if she finds out that the fire was not, started because of the way that she said, which Connie said she was kind of like cooking and it was like a grease fire that got out of hand. But she basically told her, if we find out in an investigation that that's not the case and that you didn't know where your kids were when you were looking for them and stuff like that, you'll be charged with negligence. But there is, as of right now, an open case into seeing, to investigating basically the children's well-being. And so, again, like I said, I believe that's going to open the door for her to have to go and talk to Zac and them and see if they can help her with the baby, help take care of her kids or whatever, which she's, like I said, she told Tony, which I still don't get why Tony ain't brought this up, because it's just some stuff you just say no matter what. You can be mad if you want to. I'm telling everybody, you go over here got cancer and you need help because you got 3 kids. So be mad and pissed off all you want. She got cancer. And that's just me. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the episode. Towards the end, I think Angela took another injection and then she kind of started getting dizzy because Angela is being very, very irresponsible in regards to taking the medication that she didn't really do a whole lot of research on. She's not following the directions, and this is an injection. I mean, you should be following instructions in doctor's stuff anyway, even with pills and liquid medications, but definitely something that's being injected into your body. Are you serious? So Angela is doing the most. But anyway, that's pretty much that review for the mid-season finale of Zatima. Once again, good job. I think Courtney's doing very good with the writing. I love the way that the direction of this the season is going. And definitely makes me be hopeful to that we will get a couple of some more seasons. There's a lot to work with within these story dynamics to get quite a few more seasons, I think. And so I'm excited to look forward to that. And let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will pick up on whenever the season comes back. I don't think it's been announced as of yet when they plan on bringing them back, but other than that, I'll pick up in the sisters reviews. Talk to you guys later. Bye.